friends. I'm Amy. I'm the Globetrotting Stitcher, and I am happy to be back with you today. Welcome back. Today is Saturday, October the 9th, which I can't quite figure out how we're already halfway through October, but it is what it is. But we hope that you are all well. If you are finding us for the first time, welcome. This is a YouTube channel about cross stitch, so hopefully that's what you're here for. If you're a returning subscriber, it's so great to see you again. Thank you so much to all of you who come back every couple of weeks to spend time with us. We really do appreciate it. If you hear some rumbling in the background, Sophie fell asleep in front of the window behind me, and she's napping on guard duty, so we'll have a conversation about that later. But she tends to snore a little bit loudly, so you may pick up some of that in the video. At any rate, we hope that you've all been well. We have definitely entered the fall season here in the Pacific Northwest of the USA, and I couldn't be happier about it. This is my favorite time of year. It always has been. I love the change of the seasons. I love the beautiful colors on the trees. And so it's been really fun for me to see all of that happening. We've got our rain back finally. Our nights are cool and crisp. We're getting a little bit of windy weather. And so just all of the things that make fall, it's just my favorite. And so it's been really fun. I've had to start taking Bear and Sophie out earlier and earlier to stay ahead of the rapidly, it's getting darker earlier as it always does in the fall. And so I've had to take them on their walks earlier, but we're really enjoying just getting out and seeing as the season changes. I love it. So that's what's going on here. We also, I think one other thing that happened recently that was kind of fun, one of Gary's old friends from when he was in the Navy in his younger days came to visit, and Gary had a small group of friends that he was pretty close to and spent a lot of they were his buddies when he was in the Navy. And so I've been hearing about, the same names for several years, for a number of years now, but this is the first time I've actually met one of the people behind those names. And Gary actually hasn't seen this guy since they were in the Navy together, so we won't tell you how long ago that was, but for me, it was just really nice to finally get to know one of these guys who had been a part of his life and a part of that season of his life. And so we really enjoyed that visit. We had a really good time. And so that was just really nice. I think the only other piece of news, which is super exciting, is that Gary and I got into StitchCon. So we are going to be going to StitchCon Weekend A in June. I know it's months away, but I've joined the Facebook group, and it's been really fun to see everybody popping in to say, "Yay, I got in! I'm going to this weekend." And so this will be the first time that either of us has ever been to a stitching retreat, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I know as things kind of pick up steam next year, we'll give you more information about it. But if you are going to StitchCon and you're going to be at Weekend A, we would love to meet you. So we'll look forward to that opportunity. Please leave a comment. Let us know, because we'll make sure that we look out for you and remind us when we get closer so we can look out for you. But at any rate, we're super excited. We feel really lucky. I've been wanting to go to StitchCon for a couple of years. And I just feel really fortunate that the wait list opened up so that we could get in. So anyway, that's our big exciting news from this past week. Let's see. I think that's it for updates from us. Things are starting to, I had mentioned in our last update that we were getting past a couple of big projects. So we were telling you about our deck. And you saw probably, I think, in the last video that we uploaded that not only we had finished the sanding when we filmed that video, and then since then we have stained. And Gary actually put some video clips of us doing that staining in on the last video or the last update that we shared with you. So we are both so happy because that project is completely finished. The deck dried beautifully. And it looks so much nicer. I think we are both so much happier with it, and we're both so happy that that project for this year is done. My work has still been really busy, but I'm happy to say that it's starting to taper off finally. I've had a couple of really long days this last week, but it definitely, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting past the big crunch time for us. And so I'm looking forward to, fingers crossed, I shouldn't jinx myself, but hopefully a couple months of quieter, more normal hours before it gets busy again next year. So that's what's up with us. So let's go ahead and get into the stitching, which is what I know everybody is really excited for. So the first thing I have to share with you is an FFO, a fully finished object. Those of you who have been with us for a while will probably remember that earlier this year I did finish stitching what was for me the first. There's a series of 4 seasons charts by Lila's Studio, and I stitched spring earlier this year. And so I finally had a few minutes to go ahead and do the finishing off and turn that into a pillow. And so this is how it turned out. Again, I used the tutorial that Helen D made a while back for some of her pillow finishing. I found that to be super, super helpful. So if you have not checked out Helen D's channel, I recommend it. She is regularly doing great little finishes, and we'll post some tutorials about that. And I just, so I really love the stuff that she does, and I think her tutorials are really helpful. So as you can see, I went ahead and did the border of, or the framing up with the 2 separate fabrics here, which I really love. I threw in a couple of really cute little Easter egg buttons to accent it and to tie it in. I've got some pretty Lady Dot Creates trim around the outside. And then, as I did with my other Lila's Studio pillow, I did choose to do an envelope finish. So I've got the purple lining on the enclosure here, and then this really fun spring fabric, and then this little Easter bunny button on the back. So yeah, I really love this. When I decided to do this set of pillows, I had decided I wanted to do an envelope finish so that I could switch out the pillow form on the inside every season rather than having 4 fully stuffed pillows. I'm kind of rethinking that strategy. So as you can see, the pillow form fills it out fairly well, but it doesn't fill it out perfectly. And I personally like a nice fully stuffed pillow with, all of the edges filled out. And so I'm kind of thinking that for the next 2 that I stitch, I may just go ahead and fill them like I would a regular pillow, rather than using the envelope finish and the pillow form. And I might even go back with this one and the autumn design that we showed you in the last video and just stuff them and sew them up, because I like that finished look a little bit better. This feels like it looks a little bit rumpled. And so that part I'm not totally thrilled with. Everything else, I'm really pleased. I love the fabrics I was able to find for it. And so I'm really looking forward to having this out on display when spring comes around. So there we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and show you the whips that we have been working on since the last time we filmed an update. The first one is my Fancy Lady. This is Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. I am stitching it on a 32 count Laurel linen using all the called for flosses. The last time you saw this, I was continuing to work down the diagonals through her skirt. There's a lot of skirt and a lot of diagonals of stitching. And I had stitched a fair bit of, at the one side of the design, there's like a puddle of, she's got this red cloak with white fur trim, and it puddles a bit at her feet. And so I had stitched a good chunk of the one section of that, and was also coming around her shoulder where the cloak was. So that's where I was the last time you saw it. This time, I think I got about 1 diagonal of stitching. It wasn't a lot of progress, but I'm hitting a couple of milestones with this. So this is where she is right now. So this is that puddle of cloak that I was talking to you about. And as you can see, I finished where it pools right here. There's another section of cloak that comes around this way, but that's a different section of pooling. And so I felt really good to get that finished. As you can see, I stitched down through another good chunk of the diagonal in her skirt here. We've got this little sort of ribbon belt that's emerged. One of the things that I'm also excited about is this cloak, as it comes around and it drapes around her, it kind of comes across her dress. So you get more of this red and the fur that comes around this way. And for me, I was really excited because, we've got this kind of curve here where you start to see that happening. And it feels like feels like I'm turning a corner with this piece and kind of tipping over the edge as far as progress, where it's not just all kind of slogging through this skirt. It's a beautiful skirt. I love it. But we're starting to see that cloak that comes around her and will kind of swoop across the side. So I definitely feel like I'm starting to see where she's coming along and the piece is really progressing. She has been a slow mover for me, but every time I pull her out, I just think about how beautiful she is. She's definitely not going to be finished in time for Christmas this year, but I am very confident she'll be ready for Christmas 2022, and I'm really looking forward to having her finished and on display then. This design also I have been stitching as a stitch along since the beginning of the year with Sarah. She is Stitch Addict on Instagram. So if you are not following her already, you should go check her out. She's also been stitching her way through all of the lavender and lace Celtic ladies, and so I enjoy watching her progress. I think she recently finished spring, and I think she did a color conversion on it. Really, really pretty. So go check out Stitch Addict on Instagram. We are also stitching this along with Lynn. Lynn is a Lancashire stitcher here on Flosstube, and she's stitching this on a really, really beautiful fabric. So definitely go check out her channel and see what she's up to with this design. All right. The next piece I have to show you is in my seasonal category, and this one I'm just absolutely loving. I am, let's see, excuse me. I am stitching Spring Delivery by Plum Street Samplers, and I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count sand Edinburgh linen using the called for flosses. And the last time you saw this, it was a brand new start, and I had made really good progress on it for being a brand new start. I'd spent a good chunk of time on it. So I had stitched the little signpost up in the corner that has the date on it. Excuse me. I'll take a little sip of coffee. Sorry. Okay, so I had stitched the little signpost with the date. I had stitched the outline of the horse and had done a good bit of work on one of the big flowers and had stitched the bunny. So that was where I was the last time, and this is where I am now. I don't know what it is about this design, but I love it. When I pulled it out this morning to get ready to film this update, and I was looking, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I really love this design. I really love stitching on this design. This was hard to put away. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just such a pleasure to stitch this piece. I really have enjoyed every single stitch. So as you can see, I finished filling in this blue-gray horse, which I really love. I was able to stitch the little chick here. I finished this big flower and have finished the outlines on these two flowers and started filling in. Started putting in the tulip, got this big leaf done, and have almost finished off the wagon. So this is a design that I am pretty confident I will be able to finish the next time it comes out. It feels like it stitches up really quickly, and it's really enjoyable. One of the things that has been fun is that Paulette, when she did this design and she charted it, she designed it so that you do kind of you give each of these big flowers an appliqued effect after you finish the stitching. You use long stitches and it makes it look like the flower is appliqued on. There's not a high contrast between the thread you use for those long stitches and the actual stitching in the flower itself. So it's a fairly subtle effect even in person, but I really like it. I really, really think this is lovely. And yeah, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite pieces to work on. So that is where I am right now on Spring Delivery. Okay. Let's see here. The next piece I'm going to share with you is Gary's piece. And those of you who have been with us for a while have been enjoying watching him progress on this. He is stitching a chart called To Market by Hannah's Needlecraft. He is stitching it on a 16 count beautiful beige Aida. And the last time you saw this, he had made a lot of progress on it. He had stitched the first 4 people and some chickens and a pig, and was kind of getting into like the final third of the project. And so I will put this up and show you where it is now. Gary, I don't know if you want to talk about what you stitched this last couple of weeks.
I guess I do want to. I didn't stitch much. I just stitched the kid after the pig. and that was actually that one stitched up. I guess to borrow a phrase, stitched up quickly. That particular piece of the whole thing. So now I've just got a mom, and she's got a baby on her back and a goat, and then it's done. So I'm pretty sure this will be done by the end of October. I'm pretty sure about that. We already found what we think will be the frame for it. But it's been an interesting thing to, and it still is going to be an interesting thing to cross stitch, because it's amazing how different that would look without the back stitch. It would just amazing how different it would look. At any rate, so I gotta do back stitch on the last kid there, and then I've got like I say, the mom with a baby on her back and a goat, some more grass and dirt because I think it's dirt anyway. So that's what's going on with that. Then it's done. I don't have anything lined up to do after that, which is why I say I'm not sure I'm a cross stitcher, but we'll see how it goes. So that's about it for me.
He does have some charts he could stitch, but I don't know.
There's Captain America.
There's Captain America. Then there's the one that is the it's by Demented Stitchers. It's the Colors May Vary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that one next.
Okay. So yeah,
Colors May Vary.
Colors May Vary. So we'll look into maybe kitting something up so that if he feels like starting another design, he has the option.
Yeah, we'll look hard.
Yeah. Actually, I think I bought you fabric for Captain America, but it could double down for the Colors May Vary if you wanted it to.
Well, we'll see.
We'll take a look.
Yeah.
No pressure.
None.
None whatsoever.
Not a bit.
You stitch what you want when you want.
There you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last whip we have to show you is my travel stitching. And this is Silent Night by Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm stitching it on a 32 count light blue Lugana. And the last time you saw this, it was a brand new start, and I didn't have a whole lot done on it. I had stitched a little bit of the top border. I think I'd stitched maybe 1 or 2 snowflakes, and I just put in the first handful of stitches on the church that is the central motif in the design. And this is where it is right now. So as you can see, I have not touched this a whole lot in the last couple of weeks. That's just the way the schedule has been, is that my travel stitching really isn't getting a lot of love right now. But you know what? Progress is progress, and that's what counts. So I did stitch a little bit more of this border. I've got a little bit more going on as far as most of a snowflake that's finished here. I did stitch a little bit more of the church, and then started putting in the silent for Silent Night. So yeah. This has been, again, this is another one that is, I'm hardly ever having a chance to get to it, but I do enjoy it when I work on it, and I'm really liking the way these colors are showing up on this fabric, and so we'll just see what we see as far as when this gets finished, but it's a lot of fun to work on, and I really like it. So yeah. Oops. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about haul. I have a couple pieces of haul to share with you, and I'm really excited about these because I got one of my unicorn charts. So there's a lot of stretching and sighing going on back there from Sophie. I'm not a stitcher who has a lot of like unicorn charts on my list. I'm pretty happy with what I'm able to get my hands on, but there's a couple of things that I really, really wanted and that are just hard to get. And so for those of you who are newer to the cross stitch community or may not know, a unicorn chart is a chart that is, usually it's out of print, or a kit that is out of production, and that is really hard to find or get your hands on. And if you can find it, it's really expensive most of the time. And I've had this chart on my unicorn wish list for a while, couldn't find it anywhere. I had a saved search on eBay for it, and every now and then it would pop up and I would just be like, I'm not paying that for this chart. And funnily enough, I woke up a couple of weeks ago and I got a notification from from eBay that it was available again. And so I was like, oh, I'll go check it out, see if it's at a reasonable price. It was not. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm not paying that. And so I was poking around. I was like, I'll see if I can find it, somewhere else. So I did a Google search for it, and saw that it was mentioned on another website. And so I went and checked it out, and lo and behold, this website said, this chart is being re-released on September the 23rd. And I was like, wait a minute, I think today is September the 23rd. And so I looked at the calendar, I was like, sure enough, it was September the 23rd. I was like, this must be a typo. And so I started poking around, and I couldn't find it immediately, but the next day I got just a standard email update notification from Kitten Stitcher at Shakespeare's Peddler that she had this chart in stock. And I was so excited that I immediately ran to my laptop, went to her page, and add to cart. So this is the Honeysuckle Manor booklet that has just been re-released by Blackbird Designs. And I say booklet because there are 2 full samplers in here, as well as a bunch of little smalls. And this is just a fantastic booklet. Both of the samplers in here are on my I Want to Stitch list. They are beautiful. I want to stitch just about everything as far as the smalls. This is a fantastic chart. It's not one that I see people talk about very often, and maybe that's because it is one of the older Blackbird charts. But there is a wealth of beautiful, beautiful stitching in this booklet, and I am so, so happy that it has been re-released and I was able to get it, because this is just fantastic. And it is a reproduction sampler, so I don't have it on my immediate plans to stitch, but it will be getting worked in sooner or later, because these are really, really beautiful. So I won't do a flip through just for the sake of time, but there are some fantastic charts. So if you have not seen this anywhere, you should definitely go check it out, especially now that it's been re-released and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to buy it. It's a fantastic book. The other piece of haul that I got that I'm super excited about was on the verge of becoming being added to my unicorn list, because I've been looking for it for close to a year now, and I just haven't been able to get my hands on it. Every time I would try and get it at 1-2-3 Stitch, it would be out of stock, and I would go elsewhere and I would try and find it there, and I couldn't find it. And so when I went to pick up Honeysuckle Manor, I was like, I'm just gonna see if Shakespeare's Peddler has this one in stock. And sure enough, they did. And so I immediately went add to cart. And so this is Bloom Where You're Planted. This is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I don't have a lot of sort of summer themed charts. And so this is one that like I said, I've been wanting this one for a good long while. And I'm so, so excited that I was finally able to find it somewhere and get it. And so I'm really happy to have my hands on this. It's not on my immediate, I'm going to start this right away list, but it will definitely be getting worked into my seasonal rotation for summer at some point in time. So Bloom Where You're Planted. Last piece of haul I have to share with you is another one I'm really, really excited about. So if you are a regular Flosstube watcher, I am sure on somebody's channel somewhere you have been hearing all of the buzz about the beautiful silk flosses, the hand-dyed silks that Youre at Almond M&M's has been dyeing. And one of the things, they're lovely. And one of the things that I was really excited about that she is doing is she has curated a set of flosses that are specifically designed for doing color conversions on skin tones. And there are some great resources for doing those. I've shared my DMC conversion in previous videos. But I was never fully satisfied with it, and so I wanted to tweak it. And so I was so excited when I saw that she has actually done a set. I won't try and show these all just from this distance, but she's got this beautiful set of a gradation of color that you can use for a skin tone conversion, and they are just wonderful. I love them. I am so excited to use them. And one of the things that I thought was really, really wonderful about this particular set is each of these flosses has a name or is named after a significant event in the civil rights movement for people of color in the United States. And I really love that. So for instance, this beautiful, the darkest tone here is 1866, the Civil Rights Act. Right here, we've got 1965, Bloody Sunday, and the Voting Rights Act. And I think it's so beautiful and so meaningful that, that's how she chose to name these wonderful flosses. And I just love that we're having more wonderful options available to represent all of the wonderful people that are a part of our stitching community, that are part of our families. And so if you have not checked out Ymire's gorgeous flosses, by the way, she packaged these up, shipped them out right away. Excellent customer service. If you have not checked out her flosses, run, do not walk to her website. I will put a link in the description box below and check out her beautiful silks. She's got this set. She's got other sets. She does some subscription clubs, as well as just, her standard line, and excellent quality, beautiful, beautiful flosses. So I think that is pretty much it for us today. It's going to be a quick one. I'll just wrap up really quickly by telling you what we're going to be working on between now and the next time we come to visit with you. I'm going to try and put in some time, a little bit more time on my travel stitching, my Silent Night. Probably won't make a ton of progress on that, but that's okay. And we'll just see what I'm able to get accomplished between now and the next time we film with that. I am also going to spend a week working on my full coverage piece. That's Rose Trellis In by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am now in the 3rd row of pages, and I've finally worked my way over to where I'm going to get to start working in the in again, I think. And so I'll see how much of that I can get finished in addition to making more progress on the background. And then I'm going to spend a week working on my sampler, which is the Floralia sampler by Clover Me Designs. I don't know if Gary is going to try and push for a finish, but he should hopefully.
How could you not know?
I don't.
I just said I'm going to finish it by the end of October.
Well, that's true. But
you were sitting right there.
We will discuss this later. So Gary's going to be pushing for a finish. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. So yeah, that's, I think, it for us today. Thank you for spending time with us. We're so glad to be back into our regularly scheduled programming. If you like this video too, please give us a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, we hope that you will subscribe and join us on a regular basis. Hit the bell so you get a notification when we post a new video. You can follow my progress between videos on Instagram. I'm globetrotting_stitcher. And we always enjoy getting emails from you. Our email address is globetrottingstitcher@gmail.com. So from us and from Bear and Sophie to all of you, happy fall if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, happy spring if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, and we will look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.